Now, I may be in pretty decent shape. Sure, I may look like an immortal Norse god, etc. Stop it. But I know the clock is already ticking. I'm teaming up with the world's leading longevity experts. Taking on 6 of the toughest tests of my life. Pushing myself to the very limit. I want to discover how we can all unlock the secrets of living a healthier, longer life.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Multiverse of Entertainment podcast. We are finally here, episode 12, and this one is going to be a really interesting one. Really good. I don't really want to cover a lot of documentary series. But this one is quite an interesting one. A very interesting one. We're going to talk about the National Geographic show Limitless with the amazing Chris Hemsworth. And it's a great show. And obviously I'll get more into it during the episode. But I wanted to cover this because it was simply fascinating and it's gripping. And gives a different perspective as well on what you can do in life, changing certain habits, and a real eye opener as well to Chris Hemsworth himself. So we'll get into that. So we'll be talking about that later on. Last week we did Alien for episode 11. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for that. First, it's funny, we got from our first sci-fi horror movie to a first documentary style TV series. So really do appreciate you guys for listening into this one. Like I said, you guys would listen, send in your comments and I would read them out to you. And I received one earlier today, I think. Yes, earlier today, just reading my emails. This morning, actually, 7 o'clock this morning, from if I butcher your name, I do apologize. Otaki Chi 786. So thank you very much, my friend, for commenting. He goes, she goes. I saw Alien in the same cinema theater where I'd seen 2001: Space Odyssey and Star Wars. There's an air of mystery about the movie. What to make of In Space Where No One Hears You Scream, which is the main title for the Alien film. With Jerry Goldsmith's creepy soundtrack, the various soundtracks, the cast and the actors point to first class production. So that was pretty awesome. Thank you. I agree with all that. It's really good. Glad you listened. Thank you very much. Please keep your comments in. I do appreciate it. I think that's the first comment I've read on the show as well. So I do appreciate that. Keep them coming. I'll read more at the start. And anyway, shall we just get into it? Should we get into the episode 12, which I'm again really look forward to. So this is episode 12. This is Limitless with Chris Hemsworth. This is on the Disney Plus. This is on Disney Plus right now in the National Geographic section, and it first came out last year. So have a good one. Listen to the episode.
Oh, well, good luck with that. I think I've lost my mind.
Yeah. You're going to have to navigate through the outback using only your brain.
I want you to go 4 days without food to do a reboot on your system.
It's gonna be a shock to the body, I'm not gonna lie.
It's training your mindset to embrace the stress so that it doesn't kill us later.
Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this?
What's making you nervous?
Death is usually a big
no.
one. Yeah.
So Limitless. Probably one of the most interesting shows / documentaries that I have ever seen. I do like the good documentaries. Talking about like the Titanic, Egypt, and various other things as well. But this one, this one for me kind of like gripped me. Not only because it's Chris Hemsworth's on the show. That wasn't like the ideal, but by looking at the episode the titles of the episodes and what the show was about, it kind of it kind of makes you go, this is quite interesting. And from episode 1 onwards, it literally grips you in straight away. From episode 1, basically onwards, and it is a very intriguing, a well done show, and gives you a perspective. So the baseline of the show is Chris Hemsworth attempts 6 different challenges in search for longevity. So basically, he is looking at finding a way to prolong life by changing your diet, changing certain aspects of your life so you can manage it better, control it better. And this is no way of saying like I'm gonna control me getting old, anything like that. Do this and do that. It's none of it's not that kind of like show. It's more of how to reduce certain elements in a way you can control it better than what's the word? So that you don't cause like your body to develop like diseases, basically, ailments. So the 6 challenges he has to conquer is stress, shock, fasting, strength, memory, and acceptance. And each episode is tailored to each challenge, and he does this in a course of a year. And while he's doing this, he's doing this show, and he's also filming Thor: Love and Thunder as well at the same time. So you see a little bit of elements of him training on movie sets as well. So it's a rather in-depth insight into his into his personal life, which is pretty fucking cool. It's pretty fucking cool for what it is. And each all along the way as well, you will learn a little bit more about the human being that is Chris Hemsworth as well, which is pretty gnarly. So he goes through each challenge. He trains, I think each day he trains about 3 to 4 days to prepare himself for that, to take on these major challenges in each episode. And each one, again, is different from the other. So episode 1 is pretty much all about stress proof, where Chris learns to tame his stress in response while attempting a terrifying crane walk. So he basically trains for 3 days through VR simulation, breathing techniques, and there's also a swim test with Australian Special Forces for him to try to see what his stress levels get like, and bring his stress levels down so he can breathe and control his anxieties. And he has to do this within 3 days, and he's being monitored all the way through. This is proper scientific as well, because they bring in experts, scientists, doctors, professors, to help him on this journey. Because he has this when he goes to the what's it called? He's gonna do a VR simulation of him walking a tight beam on the same sort of building that he's climbing, and he's wearing this vest that could, can monitor his like breathing, his pulse, what his pulse level is, and how he can manage it down. And obviously, he has to do all this and then go to Sydney to climb, to walk across a crane, which is on top of one of the big buildings. They didn't say what building it was. And he simply has to walk across, turn around, and walk back. And it's a really intriguing way of doing it, and he, comprehension on how he feels about it as well. That was pretty interesting to see. Episode 2 is all about shock. So he goes up with his brothers, his friend, and I can't remember the guy's name. He's a British guy who swam around the UK, did a world record. Somebody will tell me his name. And they go up to the Arctic, where Chris has to swim in a cold water ford. I think he has to swim like a mile or something like that. Yeah, it's a mile. So he has to control his like core temperature, and control his like mind as well about being cold. Because if we've ever been in like cold water before, we were like, no, fuck that. It's freezing cold. We're not gonna do this. But there's a lot of health benefits to being cold, where you get to see Chris implement some of these into his daily routine, where he has like ice cold showers 30 minutes before he finishes a shower, ice baths for 20 minutes, sauna as well for 20 minutes as well, adding those into a routine because they give like really good health benefits. I've never been in an ice bath myself. I've had cold showers before after coming out of a sauna, which is actually quite nice. And I've used a sauna before, and they are really, really good for you. Getting rid of all like the shit out of your body, and it's really, really good health benefits. And fair play to him. He does it really, really good, and it's a rather intriguing episode as well. Really, really good. You get appearances from like Liam Hemsworth and all them as well through the show, which is actually pretty cool. All these episodes, by the way, are like an hour each, apart from the final episode, which we'll get to, which is an hour and 15 minutes. That one is like the best one to do as well. The best one to watch as well, leading up to that, because that's really interesting. Right. Episode 3 of the show is fasting. Excuse me, I'll have a drink of water. Lovely. Fasting. So he goes on a journey of fasting for 4 days. All these are challenges. He doesn't have to go through all this, but for him, it is it's a challenge to see what he can do, what the benefits are of this. And from what we see in the episode, that Chris, fair play to him, he literally goes through 4 days without food, and you can see the signs of like when we've not had food for like 7 hours or something because of work. we get irritable, we get annoyed, and we're like, I just want to eat something, and you grab something, right? But again, there's a lot of health benefits with it, where if you fast for 4 days, you get these like little molecules that travel around your intestine and basically clean it out. And then when you stop fasting, you can, start eating again, and your body will get. By then, your body's got rid of all like the shit and no pun intended, but all the bad stuff, basically, all the bad bacteria, and it's really really clever on how they do it, and they come up with like what health benefits that imposes as well. So it's not just a documentary; it's kind of like a lifestyle thing as well. And these are really really intense. Don't try these at home, anybody. I like to say that because there's a lot of like professional help with Chris Hemsworth doing this, so I won't recommend doing it on your own. Seek professional advice about it if you're going to plan to do these things. Episode 4 is all about strength, and this one's a rather interesting one because the fasting one is fasting, and then once you fast, you can go back eating again. Strength, episode 4 with the strength. Chris just discovers how his muscles can help him live longer, and by doing this, he learns to how his muscles work differently under different stresses, and what he can use differently and what he can do differently. And at the end of the few days training, he has to climb 100 foot down off a crane and then back up again. That one is quite gnarly. If you're a vertigo kind of person, then there's kind of two height ones here: the strength one and the stress one. So I wouldn't, just be cautious while watching it if you're a bit squeamish about heights. Episode 5. Now, so these are the ones that we get interesting more and more. Episode 5 is all about memory, and Chris has to find a way to like see if if he can keep his memory healthy even up to old age, and what his worry is about not having the fun with his grandchildren when he's older. And you kind of discover as well that he has all these blood tests and all the normal tests that he has, and it discovers that he actually has a set of gene from his mum and a set of gene from his dad, and that he could develop. He has a 10% chance, or 10 times chance of developing Alzheimer's when he's older. And when you get told that I think any person that gets told that would be like, oh my god, like what do I do about it? What do I how can I prevent this or slow it down, or all this. So with episode 5, he discovers this, and he goes through all these like mental tests from like different doctors and health professions, and ends up going to the wilderness, basically the outback, where he has no phone, no GPS, and he pretty much uses his mind, just his senses, basically, our normal human instincts, to navigate, where he ends up with this Aboriginal tribe, and they welcome him in, and then they go on this cool adventure, and it's really, 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 really interesting, and it kind of humanizes it. Well, for me, it kind of humanizes who Chris Hemsworth is. really, really well, and he's not afraid to open up. Not afraid to open up about anything through this show, which is top notch, top notch. And then episode 6. So this one really hits home with me as well, because this one, by the end of it, I'm not gonna lie, it kind of made me tear up a little bit, because it kind of gives you that opens your eyes to the acceptance of the acceptance of when the time comes when you die. And so Chris, obviously, is a quest for eternal. Fast forwards him to like the end of his life, where they make like this big retirement home area, compound, and they fill it with men and women in their 70s and their 80s, and they're very, very welcoming. And they get Chris in there. They put a contraption on Chris's body where they pretty much limit his mobility to what an 80-year-old man's mobility would be like, and make him an ID which has aged him greatly. And he goes through like these 3 stages. Like there's like a 3-stage area of acceptance, which I can't fully remember. But he's acting like 80s, doing like the exercises, trying to have fun, playing ping pong, and comes across interesting characters, interesting people as well. He also gets to pick his own casket, which is, I think, for anybody, is probably a daunting aspect as well, due to the fact that we're not gonna pick our own caskets when we die, but for laying in a casket yourself, which he does do, is a very daunting, and really opens his eyes to what things could be. And then they go on this they go through like these 3 days, and then they end it with a dance like this. They gather everybody and have this dance. And Chris is out of the contraptions, out of everything. He's himself. And then he goes off to the dance, and then a lady comes to sit next to him, comes up to him, and he turns around, and then he's absolutely surprised and humbled, because what they did is they brought his wife in and dressed her up in like made her up into like an 80-year-old, 80-year-old woman. And it's quite a sweet thing to see. Even now I'm like very emotional about it, because it's such a sweet thing to see, and it does open your eyes to all. It opens your eyes to life, and it's cool. Like they chat. You can see Chris is like very emotional about it, which enhances his love for his wife even more. How they dance around, it's so awesome to see. And then they end the episode by Chris walking through this white door. Now, this white door is in the episode all the way through, but he was never allowed to enter that white door until the end. And then it goes on to this trip where his life literally flashes before his eyes, and he sees his death, basically. And then it ends. It ends with his death, and then he comes back, and then explains through his mind of what he can do, and what his thoughts were on it. it's a really, really interesting and fun show to watch, and it kind of opens your eyes as well to things in life where it's it's just class. It's one of those good things. Now I know a lot of people probably say, "Oh, it's just Chris Hemsworth. It's going to be put on because it's Chris Hemsworth." It's like, if more than anything, we get to see throughout each episode the real Chris Hemsworth, not the movie star, not the Marvel star, the human being that is Chris Hemsworth, family man, husband, father, brother, son. They are like he is a human being like all of us at the end of the day, and we all ask ourselves questions like, can we live longer? Is there a way we can live longer? And I'll be honest there, this show opens your eyes to so many things, and I love the show. I'd recommend this to anybody to watch it and have fun with it. I didn't know how I was going to do this episode of the podcast. I would have generalized it over, but I don't think I would have done it justice by overviewing it generally. By talking about each episode would have made more sense, and it kind of overviewed it as well at the same time. So I do hope you when you listen to this, you do check this out. I recommend watching this. It's on the National Geographic section of Disney Plus. It's a Disney Plus original series. I don't think they're going to make a second season of this, but if they decide to do it, I'll be there for it. Looking forward to seeing it. But this is easily one of the top 5 things that I've watched in the last year that I've gone, that was really good. I want to see it over and over again, and I won't get bored of it. I will not get bored of it, and you guys won't get bored of it as well. So I promise you this. So go check it out. I don't think I've got anything else to add for this podcast, so I'm gonna play something now, and then we'll do the outro. So see you in a bit.
It's a retirement village made just for you.
All right.
How hard can that be?
Breathe in.
Just a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be.
If your face tells me that you're done, you're done.
I'm outside of my comfort zone further than I've ever been. What scares me is not being able to play with my grandkids, be active, all the things I love to do.
There's certain battles we're just not going to win.
And that's it, everybody. Thank you very much. This was episode 12. Thank you again for watching. I do appreciate it. Or listening, wherever you guys are. The numbers are really, really good right now, so do appreciate it. The next time we are on is next Monday, and we're back in the movie scene, and we're going to talk about a very, very awesome classic action film. We're going to be talking about Speed with Keanu Reeves, Sandra Bullock, and Dennis Hopper as well. So that's going to be a good one. So stay tuned for that. Keep liking the videos, keep liking the audios, keep sending us reviews, keep commenting on us. We do appreciate it every single week. To follow us on social medias, follow us on Instagram at the Multiverse of Entertainment Pod on Instagram, the Multiverse of Entertainment Podcast on YouTube. Go see us as well on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts as well. You can also see us on TikTok as well at Mo Podcasts. Go check us out there. Each week you will get a brand new clip of the next episode. So stay tuned for that as well. Share it with friends, share it with family, share it with everybody. The more ears and eyes on us we want, and the more we will share with you. Okay. Also, as well, if you're watching us on YouTube, hello there. How you doing? Subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell so you don't miss anything as well. Comment below and share it with friends. We do appreciate it. Leave us a review on all audio platforms as well. Okay. So I do appreciate it. See you next week. I'm off now. I've got a weekend away, and then I will be back with episode 12. Have a good one, guys. Stay nerdy and enjoy life.